Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. My name is Kristen Majenst, and I am your product education specialist here at TradeSmith. I do work alongside Marina Stroud, your TradeSmith product education lead within our education department. I have included the webinar script as a reference in the chat box, and those who registered will be emailed the webinar recording along with the script the following business day. A recorded version of this webinar will also be posted to the help menu within the TradeSmith Finance site. Once we complete the TradeSmith Bootcamp series, we will host the beginner and intermediate Bootcamp series again. The webinars are updated based on new site releases and relevant information. And just as a reminder, our bootcamps are hosted every Monday and Tuesday. I host the beginner level bootcamps every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And Marina Stroud will host her intermediate level bootcamps every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern unless otherwise directed. So let's go ahead and look at today's topics. So today we're going to kick off today's discussion with some background about TradeSmith and a brief overview of our products. They include software programs, newsletters, research reports, and editorials to help the self-directed investors manage your own investments with our math-based tools. It helps you stay in the loop on current market trends, and it actually can expand your financial literacy. You will access your subscriptions through the TradeSmith Finance platform, which we will explore during our quick site tour at the end. And before we jump into the site, we just want to make sure you understand, about TradeSmith and our products and tools and what we offer to all of you. And just like any new venture, it does take time. So please be patient with yourself as you learn how to navigate and use our system. Again, our TradeSmith team is here for you every step of the way. So before we get started, I do need to review our usual disclaimer. One moment. The information we present today and in upcoming tutorials is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors and cannot provide any individualized advice or recommendations. We are recording today's presentation, so if you do miss something, don't worry about it. You will be able to go back and rewatch it at your convenience. All right, let's go ahead and get started. TradeSmith was founded in 2005 as a simple way to track positions through trailing stops. Our mission was to provide individual self-directed investors with an edge in the markets. TradeSmith has evolved to provide robust risk management and portfolio analysis tools. TradeSmith works closely with our newsletter affiliates to help members track and manage your newsletter recommendations. The very first program that we had here at TradeSmith was Trade Stops by TradeSmith, which was a stock tracking and alerting software program. It allows you to import your brokerage accounts. You can create watch lists to track new potential trades. It helps you track positions with our risk and health indicators. We utilize powerful portfolio management and investment tools. Here's just a couple that we have. So we offer the risk rebalancer tool, which will rebalance your portfolio based on equal risk parity. We also have the position size tool, which position sizes one or more securities based on your risk or investment amount. We also have one of my favorite tools here, which is the Pure Quant tool, which will help you build a new fully optimized risk rebalance portfolio. We also offer the asset allocation tool, which will provide you an overview of your portfolio sector and industry allocations. And we also have the PVQ Analyzer tool, which provides an overview of your portfolio risk allocations. The newest tool that we have is the Portfolio Analyzer tool. What this tool does is it digs deeper into the performance of your positions. In your script, I did put a how-to video for each tool that you see on this slide. So please, in your script, if you want to learn more in depth what each tool does, be sure to check those quick how-to videos. They're like 15 minutes or less, which will go through like a quick tour of each tool. So how can TradeStops help you? So TradeStops allows you to be your own advisor. You can track and manage your investments by following a math-based methodical system. TradeStops can help keep your emotions in check, and then you're alerted when it's time to buy, hold, or sell. The next product that came out after TradeStops by TradeSmith was Ideas by TradeSmith. which is our premier market analysis software program. And what it does is it can help you assess the health of the major US and foreign markets, the S&P sector ETFs, and commodities. We also offer the bullseye and bear's eye signals, which will warn you when a bull or bear market may be approaching. Have access to investment strategies, the screener tool, which allows you to screen for securities based on your criteria or filters that you can create or set up. And it also has a pure quant tool or portfolio builder, which is available to Ideas Lifetime members and, of course, our Platinum members. In your script, I did also add some quick how-to videos on the Ideas product as well. Again, when we get to the site tour, I will show you all of this and how it comes together. So how can Ideas help you? So Ideas, what it does is it warns you when a bear or bull market is approaching. Ideas can provide a strategic hand in helping you find opportunities in well-performing markets. Then the next product that came out after we had Trade Stops by TradeSmith, and then once we came out with Ideas, we decided to do like a bundle called Trade 360. So what Trade 360 by TradeSmith is, it's a software program that just bundles trade stops and Ideas. That's all it does. So again, you have access to trade stops, so the portfolio creation, the risk and health indicators, the tools, and then you have Ideas, which gives you that market tab. So you can see all the charts for the bullseye and bear's eye signals and all the investment strategies. We also have TradeSmith products for crypto. So we have crypto and crypto Ideas. So crypto by TradeSmith is just like TradeStops, however, it's tracking crypto. So it's going to track your crypto and basically have alerts geared towards crypto. So you can still create portfolios to track your cryptocurrencies. You can still see the risk and health indicators. So the health indicators are, the green, yellow, red light system. So you can still have that with crypto. And then you also have access to the risk rebalancer, the position size tool, the pure quant, and the PVQ analyzer tool with crypto. The Crypto Ideas is our premier crypto market analysis software program. So what this does is it gives you access to opportunities that you can find with our screener tool. And then it also has crypto dedicated investment strategies. And those of you that have crypto or platinum, our crypto analyst is Joe Shu. So you might have seen, his videos and his master classes. So that's who our analyst is here at TradeSmith, is Joe Shu for crypto. Then we have our TradeSmith Timing by TradeSmith, which used to be called Cycles. But Timing by TradeSmith is a cycle analysis software program that helps forecast upcoming market turns. Basically, they're indicators. So you have like a peak and valley, which shows upcoming tops and bottoms, which can tell you if the price is going to be low or high for a specific date range. It also includes the relative strength index, which is the RSI, which is an indicator used to determine if the security is overbought or oversold. It also includes the volume at price. It's kind of like a visualization tool that helps determine the volume of shares traded at a specific price level. If you have timing, you have timing investment strategies, a timing calendar, which I'll show you when we get to the site. And basically what it is, it's just a bird's eye view of upcoming peaks and valleys. And you can do your newsletters, investment portfolios, watch list, baskets. And then you also get a timing report as well. So how can timing help you? So would you buy a stock or cryptocurrency that was overvalued or at the top? So it basically lets you get in at the right time, the right prices, so you're not overpaying. And then it helps you sell a stock or crypto at the right price as well, so you don't sell it when it's undervalued or at the bottom. And in your script, there is more detailed information on all of these slides. So please be sure to check that out. I also included webinars and short how-to videos, those that I could find on each particular product if you want more information. Next up is TradeSmith Ratings. So Ratings by TradeSmith is our stock rating system. And Ratings provides an overall stock rating system based on, our proprietary and other technical and fundamental indicators. It's represented by like a visual speedometer, which assigns a stock, a rating. Again, this has evolved the rating, so please be sure to check out your script. So how can ratings help you? So what ratings does is it combines technical and fundamental data to help you find investment opportunities. We include fundamental data, which is our billionaires, newsletters, earnings per share, the F score, and more, by the way. And then we also include technical data, which is the health indicator, the trends, sector, timing, strategies, like folio, which is going away, so please disregard that, and the RSI, the relative strength index. Like folio, by the way, those of you that are subscribed to like folio opportunity alerts with us, like folio is the Swan brothers, Andy and Landon Swan, and they're still in business. They just changed names. So instead of it being like folio, they are now Derby City Insights. And so there's more coming out on that as well. I think they have a webinar coming up. So those of you that are subscribed to like folio, just be sure to check your email for all these changes that are coming your way. And again, like folio is not included in Platinum or anything like that. It's a separate subscription. We just partner with them. It's not our product fully. Then we have our Copilot, what I like to say, Copilot franchise, because I think Copilot's my favorite. In the system, it's just so robust and so much information, and it's actually still being built out. So that's why I like to call it our franchise. So what Copilot is it's our options trading solution. So what it does is it helps anyone that wants to generate income or hedge with risk reduction strategies. Our Copilot algorithms help you identify option trades based on the highest probability of profit, which is the POP, to return of investment, which is the ROI ratio. So we also offer Copilot opportunities with the following strategies: buy calls, cover calls, sell puts. We offer intraday alerts for profit and loss target alerts, underlying asset alerts, and so much more. So please refer back to your script. And then the option screener tool allows you to search for option trades that meet your criteria. So there's filters and all different things you can add to filter to get, the right trades, option trades. So how can Copilot help me? So this is just a little snippet of what it looks like, the tool. It's definitely not all of it. It's like a very small percentage, and we'll show you once we get to the site. But basically what Copilot can do is give you best and worst case scenarios to determine the odds of success. We offer a probability cone, which will provide a visual representation of the max directional moves of the underlying asset. We offer the options checklist, which helps you determine if the option meets your trade plan. So again, this is a very small part of what Copilot does. And in your script, I did, for those of you that maybe have Copilot and are a little overwhelmed, because it can definitely be overwhelming, or a Platinum member, in your script, what I put in there is getting started with Copilot. I highly suggest you watching that first, and then moving on to using like the covered call builder and all the tools. All right, next up is our TradeSmith newsletter and research. Again, this slide does not have all of our newsletters and editorials and reports. I cannot fit it on one slide, but here's just a snippet of it. So our TradeSmith newsletters, so we offer TradeSmith Decoder, which is an all assets newsletter. It's part of a separate subscription. It's an active managed portfolio, which is led by our Chief Research Officer, Justice Clark Lytle. Then we have TradeSmith Dividends on Demand, which is an options newsletter. It's part of a separate subscription. Again, it's actively managed. It's an active managed portfolio, which is led by our senior analyst, Mike Bernick. Then we offer our TradeSmith editorial. So we have the TradeSmith Daily, which is a daily editorial available to all TradeSmith members. So it is complimentary, and it comes with your program, no matter what you have. And what it is, it's investing strategies and latest like market news. And this is written by Keith Kaplan, our CEO. Then we have the Inside TradeSmith, which is a bi-weekly editorial available to all TradeSmith members. What it does is it gives you market insights and TradeSmith tool reviews. This is now written by senior analyst Mike Bernig. Then we have Money Talks, which is our weekly editorial, which is available to all TradeSmith members. And this is just personal finance editorial that goes out every Friday. And this one is also written by our CEO, Keith Kaplan. We also offer TradeSmith reports. We have a Trends Weekly report, which is a weekly email that summarizes market health, trending stocks, strategies. Again, it's part of a separate subscription. And then we also offer our Timing by TradeSmith reports. And please refer back to your script because this is obviously not the full list. So how do the TradeSmith subscriptions work? So TradeSmith provides a subscription model where members typically renew every year. TradeSmith products are typically sold separately. Each TradeSmith product may have different subscription levels. Lifetime is the highest subscription level for any individual TradeSmith product. Platinum is a lifetime subscription level for all TradeSmith products. So the lifetime and platinum subscriptions also have a legacy feature, which allows members to pass the subscription down to family members. So our platinum members will get anything we add in the future free of charge. Except like, for example, Derby City Insights, which was like Folio, since it's not fully our product. Again, if you're interested in that legacy feature, just give our customer service a call or send an email with who you want to add as your legacy feature and their information, and they'll be sure to create a case on your account. So that's all notated. All right, so what is TradeSmith Finance? So TradeSmith Finance is a host site that houses all your TradeSmith products. So I think that's all the slides, thankfully. So we're going to go ahead and check out this site. Let me get rid of this PowerPoint finally, and we'll go and take a tour of the site. So I'm already logged into my TradeSmith Finance account. Just as a reminder, you will log in to your account via finance.tradesmith.com, no matter what product subscription you hold. Also, as we're going through here, please keep in mind, I do have access to the full suite of TradeSmith products with my Platinum subscription. So your site may look different from mine. And we just do this because as a result, when it comes time to consider upgrading, you'll know, what you're getting into by us showing, different things on the Platinum subscription. All right, so let's first just check out the help menu where you can go to access additional educational resources, including all of our TradeSmith Bootcamp webinars and short how-to video tutorials. So to get there, you're simply going to click on the help button here. All right, so here is where you can go back and watch all of our previously recorded boot camps up to today's date. Marina and my folder is here, the TradeSmith Bootcamp and video tutorials. If you click on that, here's where you can register for upcoming bootcamp webinars. If you need some help with Zoom, since we just switched over to Zoom, we did create kind of like a troubleshooting guide. So please be sure to check that out. If you want to get caught up in any beginner lessons, you can expand this one and it will just basically show you all the webinars up to today's date. And then once you do the beginners level boot camps, you can jump into the intermediate, which are Marina's lessons. Then if you prefer to watch short how-to videos, which are typically 20 minutes or less, please be sure to check out the how-to video tutorials, which every week Marina and I are adding new ones in there. So there should be some new ones in there now. And then those of you that maybe need some additional help, we do offer a complimentary concierge program, which you can basically book a 30-minute walkthrough, or even if it's on one particular topic that you want to talk about. So say you need help with setting up your portfolio or adding your alerts, you can do that with your concierge as well. So if you want to book your complimentary concierge, you're just going to expand customer success team here and click on schedule a concierge appointment. And you do have to create a username and password if it's your first time visiting that site, because it's a separate site. So your login with our site will not work. So please be sure to do that. And those of you that already had a concierge, you're more than welcome to go back and book another one. There's no like cap to the number of sessions one can have. So you can have as many as you'd like. If you get stuck booking the appointment, since we're not going to go through the steps, there's a quick short how-to video here. It's about 10 minutes long, which will walk you through the steps of booking that appointment. We do offer a mobile app now for Android and Apple. So you just have to type in TradeSmith on your Google Play Store or your Apple Store to search for our app. If you do get stuck, we do have a short how-to video of how to download those. And our app is evolving, so it's really cool. Then if you want to email us, say you have a question or want to show us something on the site that you maybe think will be beneficial, which we call a feature request, you're definitely send those into us, and you can do it right from the site. You can click on submit a support ticket, add screenshots, and send it into us as a feature request, because we have an ongoing list, and a lot of the things you see on our site come from our members. So feel free to do that. If you need anything pertaining to our website, think of the Education Center as our library. So anything that you want to find, if you click on the Education Center, that's basically our library, and you'll find a lot of information there. A lot of PDFs, like step-by-step PDF on tools, are located in the Education Center. Those of you that are Platinum, we did create a tab in the help menu for you all. So let me go down. So Platinum, this is where your tab will be. You still have your dedicated customer service number to give us a call. And then you can register for your Platinum exclusives here. And you'll see all of your webinars listed here as well. All right, and those of you that are new, or even not new, maybe some of you don't access the help menu, but you should have something called onboarding tasks here. And if you click on that, as you can see, I've only done 6%, but what this bar does is it basically does the percentage that you've completed in this list. So we've created, it's kind of like a step-by-step of how to work our system, so it doesn't become overwhelming for you all, because again, there's a lot of information on our site. So you can start with the welcome getting started. And as you can see, every time you complete one, it's going to put a line through it, and obviously higher the percentage until this bar's 100% complete. Again, your onboarding task may look different from mine, because this is showing everything for Platinum. All right, let me go back to support and education and make sure I did not miss anything. You can definitely check out the Getting Started with TradeSmith. That is just what basically welcome you to our site and our fundamentals. And Marina did create like a pre-buy checklist of how to, like a step-by-step checklist of like getting started with us, and like a pre-buy, like what steps to check off when you're searching for investment opportunities. All right, so please, when you get time, feel free to check out your help menu. There's a lot of information in here. All right, let's get out of here. All right, so we're gonna first start with the dashboard, which I am on currently. So your dashboard will be tailored to your subscription. So again, what I go over on here, you may not see on your dashboard, and that's okay. It's just basically based on your subscription. So our homepage is called the dashboard. When you log into our site, you are immediately brought into the dashboard. There is a lot of useful information here. So think of the dashboard as like your vehicle dashboard. So you're going to see several widgets on this page that include the health of the major markets, your portfolio health, allocation, performance, recently triggered alerts or events, your top winners and losers, recently added TradeSmith investment strategies and newsletters, and the most searched for tickers from all our TradeSmith members. So let's briefly go through these informational widgets. So up at the top here, these little boxes, that's our index carousel. And what this does is it displays the health of the major US and foreign indexes with the health indicator and how long it's been in that current state. So right here. So for example, the S&P 500 has been in the red health zone for 10 months or more. That's what the M means. And if you hover over it like I am now, it does tell you that the S&P 500 was stopped out back on May 9th of 2022. Those of you that have ideas or are a platinum member or Trade 360, that is where you'll get the bullseye and bear's eye signals, which are these right here. That is the slide that I was referring to about ideas, which gives you those bullseye and bear's eye signals, which I'll show you a little more in depth when we get to the markets tab. But what this is it's going to tell you if this index is in a bull, which is the green crosshairs, or bear, red crosshairs market. So the S&P 500 did trigger a bull signal back on January 6th of 2023. So it's going to be in green. And all of these. And again, you can hover over them. You will notice an arrow. That's why we call it a carousel. If you tap that, you'll be able to see all of them that we follow. All right, the next one is our TradeSmith feature carousel, which are these boxes right here. So all this is it just provides a quick, basically a shortcut to your tools and other site features. So if you clicked on this, track my investments, it's basically going to jump you to my portfolios. If you want to build a new pure quant portfolio, it's going to take you to the pure quant tool and so forth. And again, this has arrows too for you to move as well. So think of this as just shortcuts, basically. All right. And then the next box is the market health. So not everyone has access to this. So I apologize if you're not seeing this, but the market health is going to provide a health outlook for major markets through various tabs of information. So as you can see here, the first tab we have here is fear and greed. So what this is, it's based on the two emotions that drive the markets, fear and greed. We display what emotion is driving the market right now. Those of you that see this, I believe you have to have a subscription to Ideas by TradeSmith, Trade 360, or a platinum member to have the fear and greed. But basically what it is too much fear can sink stocks and too much greed can bid up stock prices. So as you can see, the speedometer is on greed. And then you can also get a detailed overview by clicking here. Again, we're just going through them briefly. We're not getting into each tab or tool or feature in depth. In your script, I did put all the webinars and how-to videos that will cover that. All right, the next one is market outlook. So the market outlook basically just tells you what percentage of the major US and foreign markets are in the green, yellow, and red zones. So you can see approximately 83% are in the red zone, and then about 17% of the markets are in the green zone. And it's represented here too by these colors. So you can see Hong Kong is in the green and Canada. None of ours here in the US are, obviously, because how the market is. All right, and then the next one is the S&P sectors. This is just going to tell you what percentage of the S&P sector ETFs are in the green, yellow, and red zones. So you can see approximately 27% are in the green zone and a whopping 73% are in the red. And these are the S&P sectors here, like healthcare, utilities. So the three sectors that are doing well right now are information technology, consumer staples, which is the big box stores that basically always hold their own, and then energy. And then any blue hyperlink that you see here, you're able to click on it, and it's basically going to take you to that sector on the markets tab. All right, next is commodities. So commodities is just going to tell you what percentage of the major commodities are in the green, yellow, and red zones. So 75% of commodities are in the red zone. So it looks like live cattle and corn and sugar are doing well. And then, there are some in the yellow, about 6%. The next tab on here is timing. So timing is just going to tell you the percentage of the major markets that are in a current or upcoming peak or valley. Again, you have to have timing by TradeSmith or be a platinum member. And then there's a lot of stuff you can do here. If you just want to see the stocks that are upcoming, if you want to see the upcoming peaks or valleys that have a higher conviction level, you're able to uncheck instead of seeing all, and maybe you only want to see medium and high ones with the conviction level, you can do that. I typically always have it on here because I don't look at any peaks or valleys that are low conviction level, because the higher the conviction level, the more likely it's going to happen. All right. And then the next square is publications and bonus reports. Basically, this just provides access to all your TradeSmith publications and editorials. And if you're platinum, it's your platinum bonus reports and publications are all going to be listed here as well. There's a lot of information on here, by the way. All right. And then the next section, I'm not going to go over this because it's available to our platinum. It's just our platinum model portfolios. All right. So the next section is where you can choose from your portfolios or watch list and see the portfolio distribution and the portfolio performance percentage change. So whatever you have here is what these boxes, not this one. Oh yeah, this one. Whatever you choose here is what these boxes are going to be based on. So you can see I have all checked. So if I just wanted to look at one particular portfolio or watch list, I can take the check out of all and put it on the one I want these boxes to be based off of. So if I go that, you can see that this portfolio, the distribution in just this portfolio, it's going to show in this box. So it's just going to show the rating, health, asset allocation, and the risk. Again, I don't have time to go through all of these. I apologize, but I did put a quick how-to video of what Marina just recorded one on this entire dashboard of how to read it and go through it. Any tab that you click here, there is a shortcut to the tool. So again, if you're looking at risk, it's going to tell you the risk, the overall PVQ, the portfolio volatility risk. So you can see that almost 70% of my stocks in this portfolio are considered medium risk, and about 30% of my stocks in this portfolio only are high risk stocks. So if I wanted to see what I can get that down to, so say I want to lower my overall portfolio risk, that is where the risk rebalancer comes in hand, and I can go right to the risk rebalancer to see if I can get this percentage down. Because the ideal PVQ should be less than 20% or so. And then here you can basically compare this portfolio that I have selected here to any of the indexes that we have listed here. Or you can compare it to any watch list or portfolio. And then you can also change the date. All right, moving right along. So next is where you can check out your recent events. So this box is only going to show 5 of them in each box. That's all I can hold. And so it's going to show 5 of your most recent alerts that were triggered. Again, I only have this portfolio selected, so only 2 alerts have gone off on this. It also will show you what you've purchased. See how it only lists 5, and it's going to tell you the details and when. And then it's also going to show you what you've sold. I haven't sold anything in this portfolio, so that's why that is blank. Your winners and losers, it's going to show you your top winners in that portfolio I have selected. Microsoft, EPAM Systems, and Apple are my top winners with the most gains. And then if I say I want to get rid of, something that's not doing my portfolio any good, I can look at this and go to my top losers and see that AG is basically in the red, and I have almost a negative 28% gain. And again, you can go to the risk rebalancer from here as well. All right, and at the bottom is my opportunities. So basically, my opportunities is taken directly from the top 5 ranked opportunities of your invest page. And basically, it incorporates all of our TradeSmith strategies except the Money Movers Lab. It incorporates my gurus, trade strategies, and possible short squeezes as well. So if you don't see this, it's because you don't have access to Trade 360, ideas, or a platinum member. All right, and then last thing on the dashboard before we go into the other tabs is the most searched tickers. So what this is, the most searched tickers are the tickers that TradeSmith members are searching for up here. So what all of you are typing in here is what's going to be listed here. Apple will probably always be first because a lot of employees here will use Apple as their examples. So that's probably why you always see Apple on top. So again, this is our site only. It's not the most searched tickers like on Yahoo Finance, nothing like that. Again, my dashboard may differ from yours, so please keep that in mind. And please be sure to check out the quick how-to video on the dashboard. I did include that in your script. All right, let's go ahead and go back up and we'll check out some tabs. So the next tab is My Portfolios. You all may notice a change. So this was released last week. So we did change the layout of this. So before, when you clicked on My Portfolios, it would take you into your portfolio. So you would see this. Okay, but now we moved the Analyze Portfolio to the front of the line. So if you click on My Portfolios, it's going to take you into the Analyze Portfolio tab. I just want to throw that out there. So think of the My Portfolios tab as like your filing cabinet. And this is where it lets you organize like your investment and watch list portfolios, and where you can access your tools that pertain to your portfolio. So if you clicked on Manage, here is where you can see your live investment accounts, your watch only, and then on the investment is where you can also see your synced portfolios and manual portfolios as well. And again, when I said that the tools that are housed in My Portfolios, we house the tools that pertain to your actual portfolios. The Analyze Portfolio, we're not going to go into because it's a lot of information, but I did include a quick how-to video on the Portfolio Analyzer, so please be sure to check that out. There's also a webinar that I did on this, so I'll include that as well. I did not include that. All right. The next tab is the Markets tab. Again, I'm just going through these briefly. We're not getting in depth into each tool or feature. All right, so the Markets tab, which is my favorite tab. So the Markets page is available to Ideas by TradeSmith, Trade 360, Crypto Ideas, and Platinum members. So To access the crypto market analysis tab, you do have to have crypto ideas. I just want to throw it out there, or be platinum. All right, so what the Market Outlook tab does is it allows you to assess the health of the major US and foreign indexes with our risk and health indicators. You're able to see the health distribution for each index, which is like the percentage of stocks within an index, which are green, yellow, and red. And then most of the stocks that make up the market are in the red zone. So it tends to like bog down the markets, but you can change this to either tile, where you see these squares here, or you can change it to list, which used to be our old way, which I prefer the list. So basically what this does, I'll just give you a quick review really quick. So basically, when we were talking about the bullseye and bear's eye signals, this is where you'll find that. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll try to go back to the COVID crash to show you how we were able to determine that ahead of time to get you guys out of the market before it crashed. So basically, if you want to see a particular graph or health distribution on any of these here, you can either click on the blue hyperlink and it'll jump to that for you, or you could just scroll down and find the one you want. So basically, all this is our shortcuts. All right, so let's look at the S&P 500 just so I can show you the bullseye and bear's eye signal. And we're not going to go over all of this. This is for the screener tool, which in your script, I did include a quick how-to video and webinar of how to use a screener tool in the markets. All right, so I am going to change this to 3 years. Can't believe it's been that long since COVID. All right, so I'm going to change this graph to 3 years. So back, I think it was around the beginning or middle of February, we sent out a bear's eye signal to our members that had access to the bear's eye and bullseye signal. And what the bear's eye signal did was let everybody know that the S&P 500 is going to go into a bear market. So we warned you ahead of time for you to exit, your trades. And you can see that right here on the graph. So on May 9th of 2022, a bear signal was triggered. And then you can see where it went down, the S&P, and most of them were in red. And then what you do is you just wait until we send out a bullseye signal, which is this one, letting you know it's okay to get back in. And we didn't send that out until January 6th of 2023. Let me change this to 5 years. I want to see where the first COVID was, because I believe we sent it out in February right here. Yeah. So this was a COVID crash right here. So it's blocked, I'm sorry, but it's right behind here, the bear's eye signal. We alerted everyone. I remember it was like on February 18th or 19th of 2020 to let you know to get out of the market. And you can see a few days later, look at this, it totally tanked all the way down. And then you just wait until the bullseye signal is triggered. Again, every market was different. Some came back first, some took months to come back up. So every bullseye to get back in will be different. It's not going to be all at the same time. The S&P 500 was the first to come back up when we sent out the bull signal, letting you know it's okay to get in. But I think the bullseye and bear's eye signal is very important. I know it saved my portfolios and thousands of our customers. So I just want to show you that, how neat that is. And in your script, please be sure to check out a really, really good webinar that Marina did on assessing the health of the markets. And she did one on assessing the health of the crypto markets. And she goes in depth and looks at all of these bullseye and bear's eye with you. All right, so let's go ahead and continue through our navigational tabs. Let me scroll up. And again, those of you that have access to markets, you can check out the S&P sectors here as well. So if you want to see how the sectors are doing, you can do that as well. So the markets tab has a lot of information. And you can also check the commodities. You can leave in tile view or list. I prefer list. And then those of you that have crypto, you can see the crypto outlook here as well. And again, if you ever read more here, please be sure to expand that so you can read the whole title. All right, so let's go to the Invest tab. All right, under the Invest tab, you'll find all the features and tools you need to develop new investment opportunities. We're not going to go into this money movers since not everyone has access to it. In your script, I will put the webinar Getting Started with Money Movers for those of you that do have access to this. But you will find the Opportunities tab, the Pure Quant, Screener, and Position Size tools here. Again, we can't go through each one of them, but please be sure to check out the how-to videos. I did put 4 of them in your script for you. All right, and next up is the Trade tab. So this is basically our Copilot franchise. So Copilot by TradeSmith. So within the trade page, you can assess the Copilot watch list, the opportunities, the options screener, the covered call builder, top trades, and the POP calculator. So when you're on this tab, those of you that have access to it, it does run a little slow, and that is normal because there's so much information on this tab. So we are aware of the delay, especially when you select this tab, and we're trying to figure out how to make that a little quicker and speed up. But please be sure, we can't go through any of these options today, but in your script, I did include a webinar on getting started with Copilot, a webinar on the covered call builder, and a webinar on how to use the option screener, since it is quite different from using the normal screener in the Invest tab. All right, the next tab is My Gurus. So think of this page as like a one-stop shop for tracking and managing your favorite newsletter recommendations. There are several informational tabs that can help you, review your newsletter's performance and, filter your newsletters with our algorithm. So you can actually compare your newsletter recommendations to what we think of the pick. I will say this, a lot of times your newsletter recommendations, for example, let me go to one of our affiliates. So all of our affiliates that we're affiliated with are going to be all here that I'm showing now. So for example, let me find, okay. So let me we'll just bring up True Wealth Systems, for example. And again, have access to these newsletters. You do have to have a subscription to our affiliates to even access these. But for example, say you're looking at your newsletters and you see a recommendation and it's in the red, and here at TradeSmith, we say red is bad, it's not healthy, it's not performing, and you should sell, on red. So I do want to throw it out there that the newsletter space and TradeSmith, we do have different mindsets. So keep in mind that TradeSmith Finance, our health, for example, is 100% math-based. So nothing is taken into consideration other than math. We do take fundamentals and, other things with some of our other products, but TradeStops is 100% math-based. So that's why we may show something different than your newsletter recommendation. So your newsletter space is recommending their recommendations based on several different factors. It could be research analysis, fundamentals, social media, like the Swan brothers, they go directly on Twitter. So you kind of have to draw a line in the sand when you see that. And that is the reason why we show some of your recommendations in red, but they're recommending it. So just want to throw that out there. 2 different mindsets. Please be sure to check out your script. I did include Marina's webinar. She goes through this entire page, the My Gurus page, and goes in depth about them. And then I also included a quick how-to video on how to track your newsletters. All right, because there's a lot of information in here, a lot. Those of you that want to find TradeSmith, our publishers for TradeSmith here. Oh, I don't want to move that. TradeSmith, say you want to access your Ultimate Alpha, those of you that have access to like our Platinum or the Quantum Edge Pro with Jason Bodner, any of this, you can go directly here to see their portfolios, or their publications here. So this is where you're going to find all of this information. And as you can see, Likefolio is now showing Derby City Insights. So those of you that have access to Likefolio, this is your Likefolio now, okay? So your mega trends, your opportunity alerts, and the earning seasons pass. All right, we're almost done. Let's look at the calendar. So the calendar is our time. Basically, the calendar has two different tabs. So first is the market calendar, which is just going to give you like market events for if a stock is like delisted or has reported earnings that are made available and IPOs. So you can change this to monthly or weekly. You can change the filters to have whatever filters you want set up here. And then you can come down here is where you can see the stock distributions, splits, earnings, IPOs, and delistings. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going through this fast. It's just a quick overview because we have dedicated webinars based on this. The next tab here is the timing calendar. So this is where that slide I was talking about, the peaks and valleys. So the timing calendar is going to provide either 3 months or 6 month overview. You can either choose from your watch list portfolios, newsletters, or baskets here for what's displayed here. Those of you that do have the timing product or Platinum, in your script, I did include a webinar on getting started with timing. So please be sure to check that out so you can understand what all of this means, since I can't go through it. All right. The next tab is the alert templates. Here's where you can create an alert template where it could basically follow you throughout, adding alerts with whatever you set up here. Next up is our checklists. Here's where you can add a particular checklist that you want to use. Again, I'm not going to go in detail about these two because we do have webinars based on that. And the next one is the more dropdown. So with the more page, you can create alert templates, checklists, baskets, review any bonus reports. And then you can also check out in your script, quick how-to video of what a basket is, because it's a very popular question of how to create a basket and what baskets are. So please be sure to check out that how-to video. It'll really open up your eyes of what a basket is. And I think once you watch that video, you'll use this a lot more. We've noticed once people get the hang of baskets, they're being used a lot. And then once you create your baskets, you can go to this box to go right to the tools to run your baskets. All right, so let's just wrap up our TradeSmith orientation with a review of features located at the top right of your program site. So again, here's where you can search for any ticker, depending on your subscription. So you can either type in the company name or you can type in the ticker symbol if you know the ticker symbol offhand. So you can do it either way. And what that will do is bring you to the the ticker position card page where you can analyze a particular ticker before you get into the trade. Again, I'm sorry, I cannot go through all of these tabs. Next and last is this drop down. So in the upper right hand corner is where you're going to access your program settings and where you can log out. Marina just did a webinar on setting up your program settings. So please be sure to check that out. It's about an hour and a half, but it's really beneficial, especially if you're new, to making sure all of your system settings are set up correctly. It's very beneficial. So please, if you haven't watched that, please do so. All right, so that's a wrap on today's lesson. So we did cover a lot of information without going into too much detail on any one product, feature, or tool. The purpose of today's lesson was just to give you an orientation to get your bearings. Please be sure to check out all the webinars and how-to videos I've attached throughout this script. I also think it's beneficial to review our release notes, which has upcoming enhancements and additions that we're adding to our site. So please be sure to check out the link in your script. And what all that is we basically put our whatever we're coming out in the future, or say next week, if we have a release that's adding a feature or a brand new subscription, or like our different constant cash flow, our different products that are coming out, they're going to be listed in our site releases. So I did put the link. Let me just show you where that's at. So if you go to the help menu and you click on the Education Center, right here, our TradeSmith Finance release notes, you can see where we have a lot of release notes. So for example, if you click on March, you can see our latest one was on March 30th, was released. I updated that 4 days ago. And basically, I just go through here and say what it is and give you screenshots. So this can help you if you log in and say, what is this? I've never seen this before. Is this new? You can come to the release notes and see that, yes, indeed, it's new and what the description is on it. Okay, but I did put the link in the script, so it's handy for you guys. All right, let me go back. Let me just bring up the contact us. Thank you again for joining us today. If you have any questions, please contact our dedicated customer success team. We will not have an intermediate bootcamp lesson tomorrow, Tuesday, April 4th, because Marina was at the Oxford conference all week and she did not have time to prepare for her lesson tomorrow. On Monday, April 10th, please join me for a live presentation on creating your portfolios within our site. I'm just going to cover the basics of importing your brokerage account. We will create a manual portfolio together, and I'll show you how to import a spreadsheet of securities, which is like a CSV file, for those of you that rather track your portfolios that way. And then we'll also discuss the information you can edit to customize your portfolio. So that should be fun. So this lesson covers the portfolio creation and management features for TradeStops by TradeSmith, Trade 360, Copilot, and crypto. So basically all of our members will have access to creating portfolios. Again, thank you for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.